Man, what an ugly day. Yikes. Hey, fellow traders, it's Black Coffee Trader. It is Monday, September the 29th, and I had a yucky red day. And what makes this red day even worse is just I tried to really follow some of the trading adjustments that I wanted to make that I spoke about on Saturday, and I just got it wrong. This market was just ugly today. Really kind of a sideways, trashy day, and it's not my type of trading. Unfortunately, got caught on the wrong side of it, pretty much. So. Yeah, we'll just walk through the trades here real quickly, but basically down about 3,200 or essentially about 170 is probably the average per account that we're down. So not a horrible bad day, but still not a great day. First trade here was on the Russell, looking for this continuation break and retest to the downside. And one of the things I want to point out, I was a lot more patient today, but I still just got it wrong. And it's just, there's gonna be days like that where you're just wrong. I mean, there's nothing else to it. We had the move down, and really we had a flush to the downside on ES, the Dow Jones, and the Russell, but the NASDAQ pushed higher, and it just created a nasty divergence, it felt like, on the markets. But this was the Russell trade. We had the move to the downside after the open. We retested this area. We had a test of this 9 EMA, which was what I was looking for. As we fell out of that, took the short trade here. We started to push down, and then we just got a reversal and got taken out there for a loss. Not a huge loss, but down 50, 30 bucks, 30 some dollars, which again, not a big loss, but just a failure. And really we just did a little double top here, and then we just completely went sideways. There's just nothing there. Second trade and trades were on the Dow Jones. This one was a little bit frustrating. Again, looking for a retest of this 9 and 21 EMA. That's what I was looking for as we tested this range, this area here from the 46 540s, and also the 46, maybe the 510s, 505s, is kind of where I had this level set. We tested it here. I didn't take it. We tested this again, and I took the short right here. And then I added, as we got into this move down, as we fell below this area, I added 2 contracts. And actually, no, I misspoke. This was the first time. Let me just redo this. On the first entry, I took the entry here and got stopped out for a $50 loss, I think. No, I'm correct. I did add to this one. And typically when I add, I will move my stop to the first entry to protect my risk. And I didn't do it on this trade. I didn't do that, and left the stop up here at this high and had to take a full, basically $100 stop out, which is not horrible, but instead of having like a $40, $50 loss, I compounded my loss because I didn't move my stop down to this first entry. Because when you add, now if you get stopped out on the second edition, so I was in with 2 contracts here, and then when I added, and then you get stopped out at the original stop loss, you've almost doubled your stop loss. And so that one hurt. That one really hurt. And then to add insult to injury, as this was just basically got stopped out there at that high, and then we fell apart again. I was like, well, it's going down now. I'm going to re-enter. Entered again, immediately push up, and I got stopped out there. So that ended up being a $50 loss on that trade. So 3 quick trades in the morning, and I was down over 200 per account. Not happy with just the market, honestly. And why do that? I mean, the market doesn't care what I think. It doesn't care what we want. The market does what the market does. I was just wrong. And if I could go back, I kind of wish I wouldn't have added to this position. But by the same token, I mean, the setup was there. It started to break down. It looked good. Added to the failure there was not moving that stop to break even. So, or not break even, but to the first entry to protect my risk. I would have definitely walked away with a little bit less there. And then let's see, that was the first 3 trades. And then the 4th trade was on the NASDAQ, actually, and that was a winning trade. But again, a little bit frustrating. And here as well, I mean, here we had the VWAP cross. We really were having a rejection of this area up here around the 24,975s. We were rejecting that area. And you maybe would have wanted to take this short right here, but I just didn't want to risk that amount of stop loss. It's just outside of what I typically like, and so that's why I didn't take that. And I was just cautious because in the morning we failed here, failed here, failed here, failed here. In other words, we failed to break this level. That's what I was looking for. We were holding that on the NASDAQ. And on the other markets, we were below this. We were actually falling down below. So this was just creating a nasty divergence. But anyway, as we fell out of this and we came back up and retested, I think this might be the Thursday, maybe the Friday highs. Let's see. Here's where we were at today. We were retesting the Wednesday, the Friday, Thursday, Wednesday. We were retesting the Wednesday highs here on the NASDAQ. That is right here. As we retested that, we tested this 9 and 21 EMA, which is what I was looking for, and this area. Took the short. Actually, I waited until we were falling all the way down here. Took the short. Actually, that is incorrect. I misspoke again. Here's my original entry. And this is the add-in. I added to that position there. Got out of the first entry here with one contract here for a $60, $63 profit, and then it got stopped out break even on the last one. Now, typically, if I wouldn't have been down as far as I was, if I wouldn't have been down 200, I may have left this stop. That when I added to the position, I may have just moved the stop here and left it there. But because of that, I didn't want to give back, and this little candle right here, this unnerved me a little bit. I was afraid of seeing this thing just rip back up and take me out. And so that was the reason I went to break even on that after I got to the first contract profit target. So unfortunately there, I probably left some because I got stopped out there, basically kind of wicked out, and then we continued to bleed lower. We did end up chopping around, but I could have gotten out of that trade with a little bit more, and I could have probably gotten nearly back to break even on the last contract. Maybe not quite, but I could have gotten close. But either way, again, I was a little bit frustrated with myself on that execution, but it is what it is. I'll take it. It was a winning trade, and I managed to stop pretty tightly, and unfortunately got stopped out break even on that last contract. So, but yeah, I mean, obviously this thing just completely sideways the rest of the day, and then really upsetting and unfortunate was right here on ES. This was the last trade. As you can see in the morning, we actually fell to the downside at the open, and we pushed up to this area, and we just rejected on the ES. And the reason I didn't take this short, because there would have been a short trade here, and the reason I didn't take it is because going back to the NASDAQ at that point was up here, and we were actually pushing higher, and it just didn't feel right to take a short on the ES when the NASDAQ is so strong. I mean, it was slowly kind of creating a bit of a wedge, and we were starting to see a bit of a push back down, but I just didn't trust it. I just didn't trust that trade, which is why I didn't take it, and I really was pretty much done for the day. And in the afternoon, we bounced off the Friday high of day right here, and this is one where, had I not made some adjustments over the weekend here, I potentially would have taken this long, because I was really looking for this to bounce. And right here we started to have a push out of that, just a couple of candle push out of that. I may have taken that long and gotten stopped out. And then as we got this little wick test and this pushback out of here, I really wanted to get long. I mean, right here we had the VWAP cross. I really wanted to get long right in here. These two candles right here, I really wanted to get long, but I knew I wanted to wait until we retested this 9 and 21 EMA. That's part of the back testing. I realized on Saturday or over the weekend here that I need to be more careful of that. I need to wait. And so I waited until we fully tested that again, and then we started to push out. I took the entry long. On this little pullback, I entered again, added 2 more contracts. So I was then in with 4. Moved my stop to, I think I actually kept my stop at like the original stop loss, or I might have even kept it down here. I'm not quite sure. But anyway, we started to push higher, and I thought, well, we're going to get there. My first target was these highs right here, and so my first target was sitting somewhere here. My second one was sitting right at VWAP, and then I had the other ones, up here, and I was going to adjust those as needed. Well, we get up to this level here, and we just start failing. And I moved my stop to break even. I said, I'm not going to risk it. I'm just going to move the stop to break even. We'll see what happens. and I got stopped out. I mean, I just flat out got stopped out to the tick there, and we did a little pushback higher, and then we did this dump. Just complete. It's just, yeah, frustrating. Just frustrating. Like, why did that have to happen? But the thing that made it more frustrating is I felt like I was super patient through this area and waited for my setup to really to be there, and it just didn't work. I mean, granted, I could have gotten out of here if I would have just killed that trade. I would have been in profit by probably $60 or so, which would have been nice. And as it is, this ended up being a small losing trade, really. But anyway, so it goes. It was just one of those days. So let's take a quick look at TradeZella. I did have some import issues here today, so yeah, I think everything is loaded now. 32.50 basically on the day, about, yeah, down $170 per account. So unfortunate. We had 2 nasty red Mondays now. Not nasty, but last Monday was pretty bad, and then today was a tough little red day. So looking at the stats for today, 3,200, only a 19% win rate, a 1 on the average win to loss. I basically had a $60 winner, and average loser was $54. The problem was I had too many losers. So just too many losing trades that just simply did not work out. And that cost me today. So we're down on the month. We're down about 3. So we need to have a positive day tomorrow, basically like we did today. As far as the dollar amount, we need about a $3,000 profit day, which is very possible. If we do that tomorrow, we can at least salvage the month. But again, I'm really looking for the week. I want to win the week. And so whatever this month ends up being, it ends up being. We've had 2 red weeks. We had a red week 2 weeks ago, red week last week, even though we started the month off on a pretty positive note. So we'll see if we can win this week. That's the goal, and we'll get back at it. So anyway, I'll leave you with that. Last but not least, don't forget the Apex sale is ending tonight at midnight. I think it ends tonight at midnight. Pretty sure, though. I think it ends tonight. No, I'm misspeaking. I apologize. The Apex sale is going on until tomorrow night, last day of the month, so my apologies. But anyway, that is running, so don't forget about that. And again, just want to say thank you. Thanks for following along. Thanks for supporting the channel. Hopefully you had a better day than I did, and I guess we'll leave it at that, and we'll try to do better tomorrow. So take care. We'll catch up with you now in the next one. So long.